But the beautiful thing about being at the lowest is you cannot go lower than that. And if you do not know how much sugar do you like, the taste of that tea is always going to be unsatisfactory. The fundamental thing that you need to know is how much sugar is suitable for you. The greatest deception to a man is his own opinions. So your own opinion about yourself is deceiving you. You could be anywhere in this world and work for any company. So why are you limiting yourself? So I've recruited almost 5,000 students from across diverse markets. It's almost 100 million worth of revenue. Permanent residency is just a byproduct of your skills, attributes, and what you have done outside of your studies. I would say in Australia, for students, it's easier to network. Networking starts with knowing yourself. If you're not investing towards making yourself better, or you're not investing your time in networking, then you will be left out. And you know who is the person you should never underestimate? That is yourself. Never underestimate yourself because you don't know what you can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Impact Diaries, where I bring various successful and professional people from all walks of life to learn from their journey of struggle to spark so we can impact our lives. Today we have another incredible guest. He came to Australia 9 years ago as an international student. And like many of us, he faced uncertainty, doubt, and significant challenges along the way. But through persistence and determination, he built his life and career and currently working as a business development manager in the education industry. So today in this episode, we are going to unlock his journey, his lessons, experiences, and how it shaped them, and how he became a business development manager. So without further ado, please help me welcome Brasish Suwal on this show. Brasish, welcome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that you're doing this for the Impact Diaries. So thank you so much for having me here. Really appreciate it.
It is my pleasure, actually. So let's get into our discussion today. For those people who have never heard of you, who is Brasish Suwal? What do you value? What do you stand for?
Well, Brasish Suwal is a dreamer. And I would also like to say that I constantly work towards my dream, and that's why I'm here today. I work as a business development manager in the Institute of International Studies, and I've been working in the education sector for the last 8 years now. So I've recruited almost 5,000 students from across diverse markets, which is, if you turn into the revenue, it's almost 100 million worth of revenue. So that's me, and I'm trying to my best to help people and help students to achieve excellence. And that's where I thrive, and that's what I love doing. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Of course, that's a really massive result that you have gotten, and I will talk about that a little more further down. But let's take you a little step back. And then, when did you come to Australia, and how was your first experience when you came here?
Like a lot of people, I wanted to come to Australia for better opportunities, definitely, because firstly, I wanted to become a farmer. Actually, that's quite interesting. I come from a farming background family, so that is the reason I wanted to become a farmer who is an educated farmer. You know.
What did your family farm?
So I come from Bhaktapur. Bhaktapur is famous for different seasonal crops and also rice planting and wheat and all that. That's where I come from. That's my family background, right? So then what happened was I failed in my year 11 and I failed in year 12 in chemistry. So I could not crack into the entrance exam of the agricultural schools in Nepal. So that's why I didn't want to waste my time, and that is the reason I applied to Australia, and I'm here today. That was back in 2017, and now it's been 9 years that I've been trying my best to be more impactful.
Yeah. Fantastic. So when you first arrived in Australia, did you find any difference in your expectations?
I was coming to that. Well, we grew up watching a lot of movies, right? So Bollywood movies, Hollywood movies, you know, and you see a lot of the perception. You shape your perception towards what you visualize. When it comes to reality, it really hits hard, and you realize that it's not like in movies, and that is the reality check. That is why it's called reality, right? So for me, the shock was definitely being completely alone. I've never experienced that, being alone and independent. So I've got to do everything by myself. So that was a shock to me. And also I was missing home, and I do still miss home. But what I'm trying to say is at that time, it was more of like, what do I do now? I thought I would
How
have
do I navigate things?
yeah,
How do
I
I
would
figure it out?
exactly. I thought I would have everything sorted here. You know, once I arrived, I would be working, earning, and studying. Started working at McDonald's right after my arrival, around 3 to 4 months later. So that was not my first job, but I landed a job in McDonald's. And when I was taking order from customers, I didn't understand their English. You know, so that was also another shock. I was fluent in English. I had a good IELTS score as well, but I did not understand what the person's trying to say, right? So they were saying, "Oh, can I get a bottle of water, mate?" You know. So I was like, "What was that? Sorry, can you say it again?" And I kept on asking him again. The customer was agitated, you know. So I had to get my manager to understand what he was saying. So it was a funny story, you know. So that was also a kind of shock to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think mostly people who come from our Nepalese or any other immigrant background, when they change their culture, come to a completely new environment, they will go through this journey. I was like so many times hesitated just to order because I can't speak proper English. Like I wouldn't go, like even if going to McDonald's, I'll order from the
kiosk.
Yeah. So how about your study? Where did you study?
Oh, yeah.
How was that journey?
I've been creative from the very beginning of my schooling journey. So I love painting, arts, all that. So that is the reason I studied Bachelor's in Interactive Media. So I studied that course in Wentworth Institute. It was a great experience.
When was that?
Oh, that was in 2017, yes. Yeah, so I majored in Information Communication Technology and Multimedia.
Yeah.
So it was kind of IT mixed with arts. So that's what I studied. But in between, like other international students, I went to an education agent. They transferred me to some other IT course, but I didn't like it. So after 6 months, I went back to my school where I got my visa granted to. So I went there and I asked them, are you happy to take me? And they said, yes, we'll take you back. I just finished the studies where I came initially.
So basically, you came for certain course like interactive media,
That's
then
right.
you changed to IT.
That's right.
And then again, you came back.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Absolutely. That's really great.
So what happened?
What happened? You found some passion, like you didn't like IT?
Yeah. So what happened was, I studied interactive media for 6 months, and another 6 months. So for a year, I was getting used to it. I loved the people in the campus. I built connections with lecturers. It was good. Then suddenly some of my friends said, hey, there is no permanent residency in this course. Do you know that? And I said, like, I don't know at the time. So I went to speak to an education agent, and they were like, oh, if you want to stay in Australia, maybe it's better you study information communication technology. I went there. The class was not good. I didn't feel the connection. And also the subject matters. I didn't relate to it. I realized this is not for me, so I just went back to where I transferred from. That was an interesting story.
What did you like about that course?
So interactive media, it was very much a practical course. You're working in animation, you're doing video production, you're doing graphics designing, doing programming, but it's front-end programming, not the back-end. You know, back-end gets too technical, right? So I don't have programming background because I studied biology in year 12. So for me, it was a nightmare, the IT course that I transferred to. So I thought, nah, I'm just going back. Yeah, that's what shifted my interest, you know.
Yeah, wonderful. So your first job, did you say that was in McDonald's?
Oh yeah.
Let's hear about that.
Sure.
A little bit of your struggle in that, because I'm sure so many people will absolutely resonate to it.
Yeah. So I think the person who picked me up from airport. His name is Utsarga. Shout outs to Utsarga. He helped me settle down at the very beginning, even although he was also a student at that time, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, at that time, one of the person who was living with Utsarga asked me, what do you want to do? And I said, what do you mean, what do I want to do? Like, what do you want to work? Like, because you need to work now, right?
Yeah.
So, and he told me that as an international student, the only two options you have is either kitchen hand or cleaning job. So what are you going to do? So I was like, is that it? Isn't there any other options? And he's like, no, kitchen hand or cleaning. And I said, I think it's better I go for kitchen hand rather than cleaning. So that was my first job. So 7 days past my arrival in Australia.
Yeah.
I was working in a small restaurant in Wynyard. Yeah, I was working as a kitchen hand. So that was my first job. And I was making around $12, $13 an hour.
How did you feel about it?
I felt great, actually. You know, I was doing kitchen hand. I didn't feel much of a pressure. But it was a learning journey, right? So everything was new to me. So whatever the senior kitchen hand would say to me, I would just follow that,
Yeah.
So it was quite interesting. I felt good. But over the time, when you keep on working in different restaurants, different shifts, and when you work in a busier restaurant, then it's a bit
It starts
struggle.
eating you.
Yeah. So I have an experience when I had a 10-hour shift and I didn't get any rest at all. Like no breaks, no food. So I had to eat off that leftover foods that came in the pan, you know what I'm saying? So because you're washing the pans, that was very painful to me. Whenever I think about that, it's still, I still feel emotional about that, because I was too hungry, so I had to survive, right? So what do? I just ate some food which came from that pan, and then, yeah. So kitchen hand job is definitely toughest job. It's very hard, yeah. But a lot of people do it, and I have utmost respect to them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is a really tough job. And you also said that in 2018, 2019, that was like the toughest period of your life where you went at the rock bottom.
Yeah.
And let's hear that story. What happened?
Yeah, so in 2018 and 19, around end of 2018 and beginning of 2019 probably, yeah. And that was the time when I was experimenting. So I tried different things and then I failed. I tried vlogging and I was not vlogging because the equipments were very expensive, so I had to make more money for that in order to support my hobbies. And also I'm an international student, so I have to support my family, pay my fees. I started feeling pressure. Because when you come to Australia and the first 6 months you're okay because fees are paid, everything's good, you're making friends, you have some backup. When your finances are not good, because I never ever handled money. So when you don't handle money, then you could go stupid, and you make stupid purchases. So I did that. I made a lot of stupid purchases. I purchased a motorbike, this and that. I paid a lot of fines, and like bike was worth $4,000. I paid fines worth of like $5,000, because I was still learning the rules and everything.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I got all sort of fines, and then that's how I learned the Australian road rules. So coming back to your point, so number one, I didn't have job at that time. I was unemployed for almost 2 months. So that resulted in financial crisis, that's right. And also I was paying fines from that motorbike stupid purchase, right? And also, since you don't have job and since you're not doing anything, your head space becomes a little bit towards depression, you know what I'm saying? Because you have nothing to do and you're thinking negative about yourself. Because you're not supporting your family, because you're struggling yourself. And you're too afraid to ask for help too. So I remember when I decided that I need help, I had to ask help from my family. But I couldn't speak to them. I couldn't ask for help with them, but I was just crying. But they eventually figured out that I needed money. So they sent some money and that helped me to survive. And I also had an accident at that time, and also I was going through breakup. There were a lot of things at once, and then you are at your lowest. But the beautiful thing about being at the lowest is you cannot go lower than that. When you are at your lowest, then you try to find ways to go up, because that's the only thing you can do when you are at your rock bottom. And that's a beautiful place to be, because most of the times we underestimate ourselves. And when you're at the lowest points, it gets the best out of you. So you realize your potential, you start believing in yourself, you start building confidence, because there's no other way. And no one's going to do that for you. And no one's going to come help you. You got to build that within you.
So what inspires you to say that?
Yeah, so because of that rock bottom, that kind of propelled me to the person I am today. That helped me shape me. I'm happy in my life. I'm not the greatest person in the world, but I'm happy.
Are you grateful to those moments when you went rock bottom?
Absolutely. I'm thankful to every moment, every challenges, every people who treated me badly, every rejections, every failures, every success, every good connections that I've made. The combination of all these made me who I am today. you know. And I'm still working on myself. I'm still learning a lot. I'm still working towards becoming better. And I'm glad, you know, that I hit that rock button so that I realized the real potential that I had. So yeah, that's
That is a really inspiring and beautiful journey.
Thank you so much.
So
Yeah.
after that, how did you transition from your work as a kitchen hand or McDonald's? How did you transition into your professional journey?
Thank you for that question. Well, so I was working as a kitchen hand. I was trying to find a better job. So I applied to McDonald's. So because I've met few people during the boys gathering, when you gather at your home for some drinks and some partying, you know, you meet people, and when you meet people, you ask where they work, right? Or in the conversation, they talk about their job, and then they say, oh, I'm working at McDonald's, I'm the manager of McDonald's and all that. So I met one McDonald's manager, and he told me that you should apply like this. He taught me how to apply in McDonald's. You have to go to the website, the portal and everything, you know, you have to. So I started applying jobs. My target was McDonald's. And that's how I started applying. And then I was invited for an interview. And that was in Waterloo McDonald's. I'm still grateful to that company. They hired me. You know?
Absolutely.
So that was a good one, because McDonald's is comparatively, it's an easier job than kitchen hand.
Yeah.
So when I first went to the job, I was so happy because it's too easy, you know.
Yeah.
And you also get training, and that's also paid training for 2 weeks. So it's basically you take it easy. You have a crew trainer training you, you know. So you take it easy. So yeah,
Better work environment, right?
that's right. So that's how I started McDonald's. But I loved working at McDonald's because the real connections, the real friends that I've made is through McDonald's, and I still have them. You know, I still have them in my contact, and we love each other. All of my friends were still there. You know, so that's my McDonald's journey. And during my studies, I was also participating in community events. I was also involved in social clubs like Leo and Lions Club. I think you're aware about such clubs. I was involved in such clubs since the very beginning, since I was in 8th grade. So that's how I knew Utsarga also from the Lions Club.
You told me that.
Yeah. So that's how I believed in networking. I knew the real power of network. So that's how I met a lot of people through the community engagement, and I landed a job as an education counselor at a education agency. That was my first professional job.
Right.
Yeah. So that education counselor job, I did it for a while, 2 years, and then I transferred to, because I started enjoying the journey of witnessing people succeeding because of your advice or your actions. And when you see that, you feel so good. So that is the reason I love education industry, because it is really transformative. Education has transformed me, my friends. I've seen a lot of people transform and get better and achieve greatness through education. So I love education industry. So ever since that time when I started as an education counselor till today, I am extremely grateful. I want to learn more about the education, how it works, Australian education, immigration, all that. And because it's kind of get complex if you're not careful. So that's why it's my job and the people who work in education industry job to make it less complicated for students. And we try to help our students to achieve greatness, make successful career, you know, and just follow excellence. So yeah, that's my journey so far.
Yeah. Fantastic. And I love your inspiration to help students. I believe that it is one of the beautiful things to do. The reason is like the student have no guidance. They have no idea where to go and how to go, right? And being in that position, just like we can imagine like when we were in Nepal, right? And we didn't know if we had nobody, if there was no education consultant, how hard it would be to come to Australia.
Absolutely.
And choose a course, pick a course. And it would be a nightmare. And being in that beautiful space and you serving community through that, I think it is such an outstanding thing that you are doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really, really great.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, like, I know that you can answer this because you have been in this industry for a very long period of time, and you can understand what students go through in their journey, right? So when a student comes to Australia, they go through various phases. Some people can achieve success in relatively short period of time, where they have a good career, they get their permanent residency and have a good outlook to future. However, some people are lost in their life. They are lost in their career. They are just lingering in Australia for 10, 15 years with no sight of permanent residency or good career. And I would like to know, what do you think? Why do you think that happens? And let's try to understand what goes behind the scene regarding that situation.
Let's talk about the journey of student, right?
Yeah.
Student is offshore. The student doesn't know anything at all. Student has a related, like some educational background. And related to that background, the student applies for a higher education or a vocational school or whatever the student wants to do, right? So they come to Australia. Then after that, they complete the studies and then they go to graduate work stream visa or graduate visa. So that's how they transition to getting a good career and then finally a permanent residency if they decide to. Yeah. So this has been like a linear journey, but it's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah.
In this journey, what is most important thing for the student? That realization must be there with that person. What I'm trying to say here is, what is the purpose? What is the goal? So the student must have that realization. Otherwise, the student will be lost. Why I'm saying that? The genuine intention of a student should be studying.
Yeah.
And that studying should be for gaining knowledge, gaining skills, and gaining valuable attributes for that student to become successful in that certain field. But what's happening is the student is not focusing on the studies, rather they're focusing on their part-time jobs or casual jobs that they're just doing for side income, and they're focused in permanent residency. So permanent residency is just a byproduct of your skills, attributes, and what you have done outside of your studies and also your part-time or your casual job. So what I can see is lots of the students who are not yet successful should be looking at where they're investing their time. So if you're selling your time for a few bucks, and if you're focused on selling your time for a few bucks for a long period of time, then you won't have time. And if you don't have time, and if you're not investing towards making yourself better, or you're not investing that time in your interest, or you're not investing your time in networking, if you're not investing your time in learning more new things, then you will be left out. It's not about becoming Australian citizen now. It's about how to become a global citizen. You can be anywhere in this world. You could be in Antarctica, but you could still make a good earning. So how is that possible? That is possible when you focus on making yourself better every single day. That is where the focus should be. But most of the students are lost in the casual jobs, in the part-time jobs, and they become manager, senior manager in completely unrelated field from their studies. And how would that experience translate that degree, that knowledge that you're gaining, you have invested? Because the Australian degrees are not cheap.
Yeah.
Okay, and also they are only valuable as you engage. If a student engages in the education degree, the course they are doing, the more they engage, the more they learn, right?
Yeah.
So people are not engaging because they're selling their time. They don't have time to do that. And as a result, they have to do another course and another course and another course, and they're just in the limbo. That's the thing. You should know what you are doing. You should know where do you want to go, and then take actions towards it. That's what I think a lot of students are not realizing, and making the same mistake over and over again.
That is so true. They are not investing their time in the right area, in developing themselves,
100%.
developing their skills. And as a result, they won't get a job in their field. And they have to study over and over and over again. And we see like so many friends of mine as well, and so many other people just lingering around, not being able to get a professional job, and just they make the money, but eventually again they go back to study and they have to pay back again. So what was the point again? Right? So that's a big challenge. So the best thing is to focus on their study, their growth, and work on themselves, isn't it?
Absolutely. If you develop skills, you will become more valuable, and regardless wherever you are in this world, you will get opportunities, because now you can be in Nepal and work for an American company. You could be in Thailand and still work for a Singaporean company. You could be anywhere in this world and work for any company, So why are you limiting yourself, and why are you just not focusing on your education, your degree, and you're focusing on the casual jobs, trying to make more money and more money, because you have to find that right balance. So you have to be able to figure that out for yourself.
And those casual jobs and part-time jobs, in most of the cases, they are not adding value to your life. You're just selling yourself for money.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. That is a big problem.
And you know what? What happens is over some time, it becomes your routine. When it becomes your routine, it becomes like even if you're not motivated, you just keep doing that. So
That's what you do.
For example, you wake up and you get freshen up, right? You brush your teeth. So that's your routine. So you keep on doing it over and over again. You do not realize how efficiently I can brush, how much quantity of toothpaste should I use so that I can brush better. You know, we don't think like that when it becomes your routine. So that casual jobs and the part-time job, the jobs that you're doing for your survival becomes your routine. Don't let it become your routine. Otherwise, that's going to destroy you because you're going to be comfortable with your routine and then you end up doing nothing about it. After some years, you will realize, hey, what did I do in Australia? It's been 4 years. Oh, I've just been to that same work. I've met the same people. I've drank the same beer or whatever, you know, same drink, and I don't have any experience, you know. So 4 years passed, I've done nothing. This is what I've realized a lot of people have in their life. Yeah.
Fantastic. So in your journey,
Yeah.
how did you transform yourself? How did you stood yourself out from the crowd? And let's put that in terms of perspective through your experience. You started your job as a counselor, right?
Yeah.
And now you're working as a business development manager.
Yeah.
So how did that journey unfolded in very short?
When I was an education counselor, I was learning, constantly learning. So my focus was learn as much as possible about all the subject matters, whatever possible, right? So especially in education sector. So that's how I was focusing on. And then I realized that if I stay in education agency side, then I might miss the real education side. So education agents, basically they help connect students to connect with the education providers and different degrees. And that's the important work that they do. But the real education, how does the education start? How do you design a course? And all that type of what's the compliance, the corporate governance, how the board works, these type of things I wanted to learn more. So that hunger of learning shifted me to the provider side. So from that provider side, I started as a marketing officer. And then I started learning about the National Code 2018, the ESOS Act. So these are all the regulatory, the standards of Australian education. So that's how I started learning, more networking, more networking, and applying, taking actions, changing jobs, changing mentors. So this is how I got here as in a business development and strategy. So now my job role is not only like it's a leadership role. So I'm basically managing the team also. So from my previous role to coming to this role, now I'm applying the things that I've learned from my mentors. So this is how my career unfolded. It's been, you know, more learning and more networking, meeting more people. Right now I'm also engaged with ISANA. ISANA is an International Education Association which was established in 1989. So I'm a secretary for NSW and ACT branch. I'm also a professional member of International Education Association Australia. So these associations help me to build a better career because I learn more from there as well, you know,
From
because
those networks,
because there are people from university sector, there are people from vocational English sector, all sector people. They are coming together to grow. That's it, you know. So if you are a social worker, you might have an association, you know, about the social worker. Or if you are a lawyer, you will have an association, you know. So this type of affiliation of professional bodies will help you grow. So I realized that helped me to grow here to take my career to the next stage. Yeah.
That's fantastic. One thing that I want to touch upon on what you said.
Yeah.
So many people, they might not have any idea on how to network.
Yeah.
So how to get started if someone like very new in this country and they have no idea, no friends, how to get started in terms of networking?
Networking starts with knowing yourself. Who are you? What is your purpose? What do you like? What do you dislike? What is your interest? So you have to know yourself in so much depth that when you go and you would talk to someone, then you can radiate that knowledge of yourself to that person. The person now knows you, right? So that's how you create a genuine connection. So first step of networking is knowing yourself in the deepest level possible, right? For example, I like rap music, for example.
Yeah.
I know that I like rap music. So how much rap music that I like? I know all the, rappers. I've got some genres. That is my interest, no? So that's why I know how the rap music. But there are other people who also love rap music. So you have to find the people who are interested in your field of interest. So that's how you network. So for example, if you like to go to gym, so you go to any local gym and then you see people working out and then you smile at them first, you make an eye contact and then you shake hands and then you talk and then you become friends, right? There is a process.
Yeah.
You don't force yourself into a network. Be genuine, you have to be honest, and you have to keep your words. And that's how you build your network. Yeah.
So basically, you find out about yourself, what your interests are, and go around, find those people. For example, if you like rap music, maybe if there's a meeting happening between those people, or there's association, like professional bodies, you just go around there, meet them, and then be friend with them.
Absolutely.
Exactly, with gym as well. It just makes very perfect sense. Like if you go to gym and you are interested in being healthy, go out, meet people, and there's so many people with similar mindset, similar interests. And it doesn't take long to become friend with them.
100%.
That's a very powerful way. So, but for that, for students, they need to have a space, a creative mind, right? So they should reflect back and see what they want. Right?
100%.
Again, it comes back to the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, with their purpose.
I would say in Australia, for students, it's easier to network. I'll tell you how.
How?
Because students are in big numbers in Australia, right?
Yeah.
And there are so many universities which are open and they're creating different events. For example, there is Study New South Wales government-funded body which promotes international education and international students, right? There are so many free events, you don't even have to pay for it. So you go there, you meet with other people, you meet other students who are studying something else, someone studying art, someone studying engineering. So when you are a student, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you spend all of your time, if you sell all of your time, then what time will you have left? So that's why you have to attend such events. You have to go there, go out there. In different universities would have different events going on. For example, I have recently organized an event collaborating with tech communities where I brought 3 panelists from different experience, so different stages of their career. So 5 years experience, 10 years experience, 12 years experience. So what I'm trying to say is I made it open to all the students. So there are students coming from different universities, even my own, or even the students who are studying in my own school, they were also there. So that's how you connect. So for students, it's even easier. But it's all about keeping an eye out and just taking action, going out there.
Yeah, right. And one thing that I would like to add is that whatever your interest is, there is a meetup group, right, online. Like you will, if you go inside, you will 100% definitely find the people who are interested in the thing that you are interested about. And you can just connect through that. There's so many meetup groups, right?
That's right.
In Facebook there is, and there's just a meetup.com where you can just meet up with people who have a similar interest.
That's right. So for example, even I volunteer for a community media agency called Nepal Reports. Through that agency, I met a lot of people. I didn't make money, but I met a lot of people from there. People know me from there because I used to hold the camera and I used to produce news contents through that camera back in the days, right? In around 2017, 18. So what I'm trying to say is, like, because I was interested in videography, when I started doing videography, you start collaborating with people. Now it's even easier. You have TikTok, you have social media, so powerful now. So you start creating contents with your phone, you will meet more collaborators. You will have viewers. And when I started vlogging in 2017, it was not so powerful like this, YouTube was popular at that time. So what I'm trying to say is, keep on doing what you love will take you so far.
So far in life. Absolutely. I love that statement.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about your hobbies. Like you are interested in so many different varieties of things, right? You are a poet, you have written a poem. There was a song that you have written from Bessie to Brisbane.
Yes.
I listened that was wonderful.
Thank you.
You are interested in like physical health, like going to the gym and things like that. And you did motor vlogging. So you are interested in so many areas. Do you think this played a very powerful role in who you are today?
It did. I take inspiration from my brother. My brother used to do all sort of things as well, like what I used to do. And I grew up witnessing, looking at him.
Did you go to Leo and Lions Club because of him?
Leo and Lions Club, yes. But he was not involved in Leo and Lions Club, but he was involved in some small community club. I grew up watching him doing all sort of orchestrating a street drama and then awareness programs and all that. So it was inspiration. So what I'm trying to say here is, I also take inspiration from Leonardo da Vinci. Actually, my rap name is Da Vinci. So Da Vinci is a person who is a scientist, an artist, a musician. He's basically everything.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I take inspiration from as well. So I like to do everything. That's why, So I did learn some skills that I could always apply. So for example, in my marketing journey, I could use the multimedia, videography, and poetic writings. I could write more effective emails because of that.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? So everything I did definitely made a difference. Yeah. So and also because I had a diverse interest, I met a lot of people with a diverse interest, so that's also helped me with the networking. Yeah, so there was a people who used to rap. I still have a community of rappers. Some of the rappers are now famous, some of my friends who I helped to shoot video. I shoot the video for free for them. Now they are superstars in Nepal.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure if you have heard their songs, but what I'm trying to say is, you do not know who will become what tomorrow. So never underestimate anyone. Always be nice to them wherever possible.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And who is the person you should never underestimate? Who? That is yourself. You should never underestimate yourself. I underestimated myself a lot, long time ago. I thought, I would make a career in kitchen hand and I would become a chef. That's what I thought when I was working as a kitchen hand. When I worked at a McDonald's, I was like, maybe this is my end, So I will become a McDonald's manager and maybe a McDonald's restaurant manager one day, So that's how I thought always. Right? I had a progressive thinking, open mind and growth mindset. That's what shaped me.
Great. So when you look back at your journey now, right? What do you think made the biggest difference in your life? What kind of decisions in your life made this all difference?
Yeah, so every decision is actually bad or good. But what's happening at the moment is that there's so much things happening around us. We get carried away with that. I'll give you an example. Nepal election. So much things happening. Your news feed is full of election. You're fighting in comments with people. Your focus is always outwards. So my decision was to focus inwards, and I think that decision is one of the most important decisions I made. That I do not want to focus outwards, I want to focus inwards. And I want to spend my time, money, energy, not outwards, inwards.
In the thing that you can control.
Yes.
Put it right.
Yes, absolutely.
Because election you can't control, like they do their stuff. Like outward thing you can't control. The only thing that you can control is your mindset, what you want,
100%.
and your own action, right?
Yeah. When you express yourself, there is certain energies going on, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying, like, you should know why I'm doing this. The reason, I will give you an example of how we should know ourselves better. For example, you want to order a tea at a restaurant. And if you do not know how much sugar do you like, the taste of that tea is always going to be unsatisfactory to you. So the very first thing that you need, the fundamental thing that you need to know is how much sugar is enough for me, or how much sugar is suitable for me.
Right.
Isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
So basic things like that.
If you don't know that someone is going to put the quantity of sugar that they think is right, and
that's right.
It will be not right for you, right?
100%.
Because you are a unique individual, right?
Yeah.
And that is such a powerful statement.
Yeah, so that's why your focus should be always inwards. But having said that, I'm not saying that you should only think of yourself. No, you should think of everyone else, but you should think of yourself more. Because I've helped people, people have helped me, and it just goes around, like we help each other to grow. You should always ask why. If someone comes at you, he's very angry and he's shouting at you, instead of reacting to it, you pause for a second and just try to think like, why is he angry? Then you will learn a lot of things. So you should always ask why it's happening to me. For example, I'm feeling very bad, my stomach hurts. instead of crying over it, you should think why my stomach is not feeling well and how I can make it feel better. So these two things, then you take action. Because if you look at TikToks, if you look at other social media platforms, the algorithm always awards the person who take action, who make more contents.
Yeah.
So similarly in life also, this universe will award you if you take more action. So take more action. Don't be afraid to take more action. And the confidence will come. Because your first podcast will be not so good, or your second will be a little bit better, third will be, when you reach towards that 50, 60, 60th episode or something like that, then you'll be completely different person.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I think you are also maybe realizing that you're getting better at it.
Absolutely.
Because I can see that you're consistently doing it,
Yeah.
and that's really great that you're doing it consistently. Because consistency is what
Is the superpower.
important. Exactly.
It's the superpower actually.
And we talk about all the things that I made a bit good decision, but the bad decision that I did was maybe I was not consistent. With my vlogging, I was not consistent. I made music, but I was not consistent. I was into poetry, but I was not consistent. So maybe that's why I think I didn't have maybe successful career. But what I was consistent is education industry, and maybe that's why I have growth in education industry. So it's all about where you focus.
How perfectly it is adding up, because
Yeah.
you are where you are in education industries because you were consistent on it.
Yeah.
Right.
I was constantly learning, and I was constantly taking actions in education sector. That is why I'm here today. For example, if I was vlogging and keep on vlogging, maybe I would have 1 million subscribers by now if I had continued.
Absolutely.
Because at that time, not a lot of people.
were
Because
there.
I met people who said, "Oh, yeah,
did
Dai,
you
brother, I watched your video and it helped me." I've met such people, so I should have kept on doing it, but I didn't do it. But it's okay. You cannot do everything in life. You don't have time for it. You just have to think what's right for you and what's right for the time being, and then keep doing that. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So great, wonderful. If you have to give like 3 pieces of advice to students who wants to come to Australia or who is already in Australia to be where you are right now, like not particularly in terms of business development management, but in terms of mindset, in terms of skill set or passion to your life. So what would those suggestions would be for them?
Number 1 is be prepared. Have an open mindset. The greatest deception to a man is his own opinions. So your own opinion about yourself is deceiving you. So what I'm saying is be prepared. When I say be prepared, is that you have to be open to it, and you have to be prepared to what's coming. That's number 1. If you're in Australia or if you're outside, whatever action you're going to take, just be prepared. That means do planning. You have to do more research. You have to talk to more people. You have to learn more, read more, and that's how you be prepared.
Or to add a little bit more on
sure.
that, you need to have a confidence within yourself that whatever challenge comes, you can handle it.
Yeah, and when you are
prepared.
prepared.
Or if you cannot handle it, you can find a way to handle it.
That's
at least, right, isn't it?
100%. When you are prepared, you're confident. When you're prepared, you can expect better action. And when there is better action, there's definitely going to be better results. So number 1 is be prepared.
Right.
Number 2, never underestimate yourself, because you don't know what you can do. A lot of my friends are not achieving success to their potential is because they're underestimating themselves. They're saying, oh, I'm happy with my cleaning job because it's going to affect my income if I try to accounting job, because that's what they think.
Yeah, right.
Right? So that's why you have to find ways.
Live up to your potential.
Yeah, live up to your
strive
potential.
towards that.
So that's why never underestimate yourself. Never. I think third thing I would like to bulk it in like 3 E's. So explore, earn, and then engage. And also I would like to add another E, exercise. Okay. So the last advice would be explore, never stop exploring, keep on exploring. When you explore, then the opportunities will come. If you do not explore, nothing will come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when the Christopher Columbus found USA, he was exploring.
Yeah, right.
Right. So when you explore, you will find.
Yeah.
You shall find.
Yeah. Just to add on that then, there is opportunity, like massive opportunity out there.
Yeah.
But how are you going to find?
Explore.
Explore.
Exactly.
Right.
That is one thing. And also, not only in your career, also explore different experiences. You know, because life is not only about making money, you know, being successful. It's also about experiencing, you know, like go to a beach, you know, like experience the water. And so what I'm trying to say is explore. Keep exploring, not only in your career, in your life, in your because that's how you meet your companions. That's how you meet your people. You build connections. So keep on exploring. Okay. Number 2 is I said earn. When I said earn, it's not only about money I'm talking about. When I said earn, it's about knowledge. Earn knowledge. When you earn knowledge, you know, you have watched 3 Idiots. The main character says, Amir Khan says, that if you run towards excellence, success will come. Don't run towards success. Run towards excellence. And then the success would follow. So that's what I'm saying here as well. I would like to say that again. So just do that. Yeah?
Yeah.
And another one is engage. So what I'm saying by engage is that engage with your people. Engage with your friends. You do not engage with your friend for a few months, then the friend is lost. If you do not engage with your studies, then you lose track of your studies. So engage more. Ask questions. Engage. What you can do. What you can do better. So you have to keep on engaging yourself in your interest, for example, or just stay engaged. Don't stay idle.
Yeah.
Because if you stay idle, then you won't live up to your potential. If you engage, then you will do that. Yeah. And then the 4th, last but not the least, exercise. The reason I'm saying exercise is because exercise has transformed my life. I was 78 kgs. I was having I had a lot of fat in me and I was fatigued. I used to smoke. I quit smoking already. So what I'm saying is I was in a very bad shape, mentally, emotionally, physically, because I was not exercising. When I started exercising, it helped me develop discipline. It helped me eat good, think good, and also sleep good hours. So that is a fundamental. That's a basic. We think about great things and we think about a lot of things that we can do and all that, but it comes down to the basics. Are you breathing fine? Are you drinking water well? Are you eating food well? Are you exercising? Are you moving? So are you getting entertainment, for example, for your mental health? So what I'm trying to say is exercise helped me achieve that. It helped me to stay fit, healthy. And when you're fit and healthy, and when you're in a good shape, you're automatically confident. And when you're confident, like people like confident people because they think that they can get things done, right? So that's why, and then you network better. And then your career is better. So that's why exercise is very important. So spare some time. You should know what your schedule is like. Try to your fixed schedule, and also don't move around a lot. For example, if you're living in a certain area and you are familiar to it, try to live in that area for a longer period of time, because you will meet more people there. Community businesses will know you. You know, there would be more opportunities for networking, knowing people better. So if you move around also, you will lose a lot of money. When I was a student, I moved a lot and I lost a lot of money. Because you lose in bond money, you will lose in travel, transport money, and you will also lose in your own timing, and also a lot of things you will lose. That's why I try to stay
consistent
again. Yeah.
Right.
And when you are stable, I would say stable. When you're stable, when your foundation is stable, you can build on it. But when your foundation is shaky, then you cannot build on it.
The branch cannot go off.
100%. Yeah, I'm giving you an example of a building, right? When the foundation is shaky, you cannot 100-story tower there. No way, right? So that's why you have to make your foundation strong.
And in order to do that, first is explore.
Yeah.
Second is engage.
Engage.
Third is earn.
Earn.
Not money. It's more mindset.
Yeah,
and
knowledge.
Skill set.
Yeah.
And then last is exercise.
That's right. So when you have to work on yourself, I also like to give you an old example of a bamboo. So the bamboos, they don't grow upwards straight away.
Yeah.
They grow downwards first. So when the roots are strong, then you can go long way. Yeah. So work on your roots. Work on your skills. Work on your value that you can bring when you are meeting people. Be more valuable. When you become more valuable, then you'll automatically get all that.
Since you brought this bamboo stuff. It reminds me of a story of Chinese bamboo tree.
Yeah.
So Chinese bamboo tree, actually, it takes 4 to 5 years to grow. So up till 4 years, it doesn't grow like upward.
That's right.
It's just growing downward, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And it's strengthening its root and holding itself up, right?
Yeah.
And in like the people who want success like very quick, they are going to give up between that 1 to 4 years.
Yeah.
But after 4 years, within like 28 days, it just goes sky high.
Yeah.
And the question comes, did it grow in like 4.5 years or in 1 month?
Yeah.
And the answer is it took 4.5 years.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. This story actually inspires me a lot.
100%. 100%, because you could work, fail for like 4 years, but after that, there might be a certain breakthrough that will take you to next level, you know? Like you could be a musician who could publish albums after albums, but that one viral song, that one viral TikTok song gonna take you to places.
That's what it
right?
takes. Just
so you just have to keep working on your craft. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So actually we have come to like very end of our podcast.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask one last question.
Please.
If you could go back in time where you first came to Australia and have to advise your younger self,
yeah,
what would you say to him?
I'll tell him, just take it easy. Don't be so much anxious about the future. Keep doing what you're doing. I would just tell him that. I don't have anything else to say to him, because if I tell him that, oh, don't do that decision, then I won't be here today, no?
True.
So, you know what I'm saying? Because those decisions that he take, I'm just going to tell him that, take it easy. Take it easy, mate.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you are a product of your good and bad decisions.
100%.
Wonderful, Brasish.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your valuable time that you gave today and shared your journey so openly. And I'm sure so many people who will be listening to this podcast will be empowered and inspired to take better actions and better decisions in their life. So I would like to appreciate you giving me your time.
Absolutely. I would like to tell every viewers, if you have made it so far, do consider subscribing. This man is working really hard to create that impact. And I've seen his podcast. He has done a tremendous job. So yes, stay connected with him. And if you want to stay connected with me also, I'm available in LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you want to send me a message, I'm here. And I would love to guide people, and whatever knowledge I have, I would love to provide. And thank you again, and keep doing what you're doing. Best wishes from my side.
You're welcome. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And pleasure is mine, actually.
Yeah.
And to everyone watching, I believe this episode added a lot of value and insight in your life. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And with that, thank you everyone. And I'll see you in another episode of the Impact Diaries.